Greetings to the Mind the Business That Pays You family. I have the dynamic Dr. Q Parnell with me today. She is one of the best MCs in the business, although she won't say much about it. But I personally know because when she introduced me, I felt like I was about on a rocket ship coming up there. So I appreciate those skills from you, Q. Now, Dr. Q, before we get into some other things, I want to ask you one question. What is it that you do and what makes you great at it?
So I do a couple things, but one thing I do want to hit on is one thing that I do is being a clinical pharmacist. And what does that really mean? Because most of the time people will think of pharmacy just as someone who works, at the retail store. You go in and get your medicine, and that's kind of it. Well, what I do is a bit more complex than that. At this point, I am in what's called managed care. So, what I do is I write medical policies and I review cases for medical necessity. It's really making sure that the right patient gets the right drug at the right time. And what makes me good at it is I'm a cool nerd. I like to read and stay up to date on the different medications and treatments that's available. I do a lot of stuff when it comes to like specialty meds, gene therapies, cell therapies, eye injections, knee injections, chemotherapies, all of that good stuff. So, what makes me good at it is being always willing to learn and investigate and find out, the why behind things.
I love it. I love it. And I'm glad you opened that way because I know that words matter. And I wondered, I said, wait a minute. I know that I go and get my meds from CVS and that person is a pharmacist.
Mhm.
But when you put clinical in front of it, I wondered because I didn't know. I was like, okay, how does that differ? And you just explained that. So I appreciate it. That was actually on my agenda to ask you about that.
Man, well, that's good. That's good.
So,
That's one thing I love about. I'm
mhm.
sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
No, that's one thing I love about the profession though of pharmacy is that you don't have to get stuck in one thing. Like I did retail. I worked for a chain pharmacy for a good bit of time, especially all through school and all of that stuff. But you can grow in a lot of different ways. You can do research, you can be client facing, you can do managed care like me. I work with nurses and physicians a lot to give them the medical knowledge as well. So it's so much that you can do with this one degree where you're not put in a box, and that's what I love about the industry.
I love it. Now tell me this, Dr. Q, the connection between clinical pharmacists and executive leadership strategists. How did that come about?
Yeah, so it's kind of cool because I do both. Currently, I serve as the director of pharmacy, so I oversee formularies, I oversee individuals, and I have direct reports. And it's kind of put me in a position where I am in a leadership position and I get to practice pharmacy. So at this point, I kind of got the best of both worlds.
You're killing it. All right, all right.
And that's where it really bridges the gap. And another thing is, I always found myself in leadership positions, and most of the time, as you can tell, I'm pretty young
Hmm.
and look younger than I actually am as well. So a lot of my leadership positions, I was younger than the individuals who report to me. So it
Hmm.
really kind of forced me to one, adapt my leadership style, being able to be strategic and intentional with the words and how you come off to people, but also being willing to ask for help when needed and understanding that I don't know it all. And it really opened up a whole nother door to expand my leadership style where now I don't have no problem with asking for help. My team loves it. I'm very transparent and open. And if I don't know something, I'll figure it out or I'll find out or I'll ask. If you know, I'm gonna ask you, how you do this,
Hey,
working smarter, not harder.
that's how you grow. Now, let me ask you this, Dr. Q. How do you define a generational workforce and why does it matter for leaders today?
I would say so right now there's about 4 to 5 different generations in the workforce today. The baby boomers, they still here, they ain't going nowhere yet. Some of them have retired, but some of them ain't ready to retire yet.
That's right.
And then, they ain't ready yet. They say they still got more work to do, and more impact to make. And then you have it going all the way down to our Gen Zers that's in the workforce, and they're entering into their different career paths or starting off in their early jobs. And soon Gen Alpha will be coming up
They coming
and
fast,
reaching
right?
next, so they'll be taking the orders or learning how to do different things because you can start working at what 14, 15 years old.
Hmm.
And because there's a array of ages, an array of communication styles, of motivational tactics. Like what works for boomers and what motivates our boomers is does not at all motivate our Gen Zers. They are a what's in it for me generation. So being a leader in today's society, you have to be able to communicate across all generations and appeal to all generations as well effectively. So when I say multi-generational workforce, it's a lot of generations, and being a leader, you have to be able to meet the needs of all the individuals that you are encountering and working with.
I got you. So let's talk a little bit about understanding generational dynamics. Now you talked about those. I think you said five now generations that we have out there. What are the most common communication gaps you see between the generations?
Okay, so and I'm a millennial myself, right?
Hmm.
So I'll give you a fun example, and this is something that happened recently.
Hmm.
I work in managed care, I work in pharmacy, and a lot of our communication is via email,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Who about to read 5 pages of emails? Like it becomes information overload. Nobody's about to read all of that. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody because our baby boomers will read every word. They will
Yeah.
sit there and they will read every word of it. But then you have our right underneath our baby boomers, which would be like our latchkey kids, right?
Hmm.
That generation, they are get to the point. Like just get to the point and that's it. Yeah. So now you have a communication breakdown because if you're sending so much stuff in a long email, everybody's not going to read it. And us millennials, we like to get to the point too. You don't even have to give us a paragraph. Just give us some bullet points and we're good.
Hmm.
And then our Gen Zers, they want everything instantaneous. So if you send them an email, some of them might not even have Outlook, or they may not even go to the email. But if you send them a ping on Teams, or if you send them a direct message or a text or something like that, it's like, oh, okay, it's instantaneous. They got it, they understand, and it's short to the point. That gap in communication can cause a huge issue when you're looking at a team dynamics. And I have boomers that I work with all the way down to millennials and Zers and so forth. And it's like, oh, how can we communicate and make sure everybody get what they need? So we'll put a long email, but right at the top, you get to the point. So let me give you the gist of what this email is about. These are the important points. And if you want all of the details, it's below. Now we're able to communicate across the generations and make sure everybody is getting really what they need kind of thing. And then I'll ping my little Zers like, "Hey, check your email," so there's something there that's waiting for you. It's
You know
important.
what, Doctor Q? You just told me the not I won't say the purpose, but the effectiveness of an executive summary. You gotta get to the point, and then if you're a person that want the meat and potatoes, it's down there. But here's the point.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Just see, and I don't need all the details. I just need to know what you need me to do and why, what's the important stuff. All of the rest of the stuff, I don't need all of that. But that's how the world is today.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Doctor Q. How do values and purpose influence productivity across generations, and how should leaders, surface those values?
Absolutely. I like this question too. I did a training and it was for an organization, it was a nonprofit organization that works with youth. And they also have what's called like teen facilitators. So it's still people that work for the organization, but they're the younger generation um, of facilitators that comes in and works with the youth. Now, the question that was posed to me was, how do I get my Gen Zers to be involved? How do I get them to show up for this leadership training? And you have to think about the different motivation factors. Like a baby boomer, you can tell them what to do, they're going to do it. They will likely stay at a job for a long period of time. They value loyalty, they value the commitment, they value hierarchy. They will likely not question a boss because that's seen as disrespectful, especially in that time frame of when they grew up and the values that were instilled in them. Well, now when you move further on into today's society with the generations that's working now, we're more of a I'm going to ask you a why kind of question. And then when it comes to the motivating factors for especially our Gen Zers, and I love this Gen Z, like they are definitely, they will quit a job tomorrow because they do not like the way that you talk to them. They are a what's in it for me kind of generation. So I had to tell her, I said, when you're having a conversation with your Gen Zers and you want them to come to a leadership training, you just telling them to be there will not be effective. But if you highlight what benefits is it for them, that now it's like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be there. This trainer is going to help you be successful in your career. It's going to improve your communication skills. You're going to get some tools that will allow you to better handle different situations when we're having leadership meetings. It's going to put you in a position where you can get a promotion. Now I'm telling you what's in it for you,
Yeah.
and they are more willing because now it's a benefit. Oh, I see why I need to be here, but I don't need to be here just because you told me I need to be here. No, I need to know why. So that's the motivating factor for them is of what's in it for me. And if you can't tell me what's in it for me, I don't want to be there.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. I was talking to a friend of mine, Dr. Peter Rios, a couple of days ago, and we were talking about the importance of not just using position, but having relational leadership skills as well.
mhm,
Because what I find is a lot of people just don't know how to talk to people,
mhm,
and that's a problem. Because I don't care what generation you are, you deserve some respect. All right,
right.
and so thank you for that answer. Let me ask you this: how do you advise leaders to handle generational conflict without stereotyping or alienating other team members?
Ask questions. You have to ask. Like sometimes everything is not going to always be a one size fit all kind of situation. So you want to ask questions. Hey, what do you feel like is your strengths? What are some areas of improvement that you would like to work on? How can I assist in that area? Can I pair you with somebody that's excelling in that area? And they may be in the same generation or may not. Like we have someone on our team whose technology is just really not their thing. It's just like, I don't know how to use this, or I can't pull this up, or now I have to share a screen. Where is that at? And then they get frustrated. And it's like, okay, well, how about this? You can speak during the meetings, but we can have someone else on the team run the technology side of it in the background for you. So now you don't have to try to figure out where you are and, all of that good stuff. But it's really asking. You don't know what your team needs if you don't ask them the questions. So a lot of times leaders, we feel like, oh, I already know the answer. No, you don't. And it's okay to ask questions and you want to get their input so that you could avoid, all of those different stereotypes that can take place. Because I have a baby boomer that's a part of our team, and they a beast when it comes to technology. Like they
Hmm.
do a great job. They be telling me different stuff to do on Excel. Look, I am not an Excel sheets guru. I will mess up. What they know how to put in codes and make it do all kind of fun stuff, and I'm like,
I
oh, you can
love it.
color
I
code.
love it.
I didn't even know that. But don't stereotype, just ask questions. And once you ask questions, you open up that door for communication and your team feel like they're heard and they're appreciated and they know that you're looking for what's best in it for them and not just what's best for you.
Amen. Amen. See, I'm up there. So if you ever see me speaking, I need somebody to work the technology. I mean, I'm down if you need me to just point at it and tell me where I'm going. But if you want me to be on the computer, y'all can be like, "What are you doing? What party on?"
Exactly. Look, I tell them all the time, I do good with some stuff, but I am not the best at everything. So if I can tap in on a strength that you have, by all means, I will. So now we have a dedicated Smart Sheets Excel person. Anything
There
that
you go.
go to her. Don't go over
All
there.
right.
Go ask her.
All right. So to frame these next couple of questions, Dr. Q, we're going to talk about a little bit about communication, culture, and psychological safety.
Mm.
So, what role does psychological safety play in multi-generational teams, and how do you coach leaders to build it?
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. No one wants to be in an environment where they feel like they're not heard, they're not valued, they don't have input. Those things really stifle not just a team, but an organization as a whole, right?
Yes.
So, a lot of times what we have to do is really create a space where I have an open door policy. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you need assistance, you know that you can come and ask. And also creating that psychological safety goes outside of just work as well, because we're not machines, we're humans. So I don't just ask my team members like, hey, how's work or that. No, I'm going to ask you, how are you? Are you enjoying what you do? What can I do to assist you? Is there something else that you want to get more experience in? See yourself here in the next 5 years. What do you want to do? What does that look like for you? What areas are you considering? Are you interested in something that you haven't done yet? How's your family? How are you mentally? Because now you're creating a safe space psychologically for them to be human, make mistakes, come and talk to you, but also now they feel like you don't just see me as a number, you see me as a person. And when you treat your team members like that, they show up for you differently. They show up a
Love
lot
that.
different.
And you need people to show up for you differently, don't you?
Absolutely. I had that question, like somebody asked me, "Man, your team, y'all always happy? Like y'all don't have no issues? They come into work, they're excited, they're happy to be there." I was like, "Yeah, because I talk to them like they're humans. I don't just give directives without explanations. I don't just assign things and don't ask input. I don't just make decisions that will impact everybody without asking for input or seeing it. And I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong either. So if I make a decision and it's wrong, we're just gonna go back to the drawing board and it's like, hey, okay, I made this decision. It probably wasn't the best idea. All right, let me get some input. What do you all think we should do? Or how can we navigate this space a little differently? And now everybody's involved. But creating psychological safety in the workplace is extremely important and it truly will make or break your team and your organization.
Let me ask you this, because I've seen you at different events. You are always pleasant. You are always full of joy. You are always full of life. And what you just said to me was that you translate that to your team and they show up for you differently. My question for you is how does Dr. Q maintain that? How are you, for us that need to know, people like me need to know, I need to know, what is your formula? What is your routine to make sure that Dr. Q is good before she has to put out for somebody else?
Grace,
My,
just
my, my.
yeah, I operate from a place of grace, not just grace for others, grace for myself too. And it's not something that just happened overnight. I really had to train myself to know, like, hey, you are going to make mistakes and it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up about it. Everything will work out in your favor in the long run. So you may be going through a tough time right now, or it may be difficult, or you may not know what the answer is at the moment. But at the end of the day, all things is gonna work out in your favor in the long run. So how you look at it, like and I really trained myself to have that positive mindset. It got to the point my mom asked me one day, somebody said, are you delusional? And I'm like, no, I'm not delusional, but I refuse to let negativity fester in my mind. Like I'm not going to harbor on something that is negative that's not going to change because where attention goes, energy flows. So I want to focus on what is the learning experience from this mistake. Oh, I failed. That wasn't, but what did I learn from it? How can that help me be better in the future? How do I know not to make that mistake again? Or maybe I should try again and I'm going to tweak something and see if it works out. But I really just operate from a place of grace, making sure that I'm always thankful and grateful for being alive and having that impact and being able to smile. Smiles are free. Like it's free. It's free to smile. You
Exactly.
don't know how you can impact somebody's day by just smiling. And people don't realize that you walk around face all frowned up and wonder why you looking 50 and you 20. That's why. You got to smile, show them teeth and enjoy yourself.
How about that? Dr. Q, can you share a specific example where reframing generational differences led to measurable improvements in team performance?
Okay, I can tell you how it saved us a lot of money too.
Yeah, give me
So,
that one too.
um,
Yeah.
so it's funny because like when I came into the organization that I am in now, a lot of things it's like it was done this way and that's the way it needs to stay. And now I'm coming in this fresh young girl with a puff and big glasses and they like, who is this girl and what is she doing here? And now I'm coming with these different ideas that goes against the norm, right?
Mhm.
I can't just come in like I'm going to change everything. You got to do stuff, in increments. You can't come in and just
Incrementally, right?
change everything at one time. But I had to come in and say, hey, let's go to the drawing board. Can we take a look at this particular thing at this time? So one thing that we had, which was costing our organization a whole lot of money, and it really took a lot of convincing for them to kind of take my approach or add some parameters around things. But it ended up saving us like $13 million of right for something that we spent so much money on some stuff, and it's like, let's talk about iron. Like we were doing a lot of IV iron. You get iron from eating green leafy vegetables. Iron don't just flow from your body unless you bleeding out. So it's like what's the issue? Like what's the problem? And then when you start doing more research, like I did, I told you I'm a cool nerd, so I gotta do my research, right? So I did more research to try to understand like what is the issue or what could have been avoided. And then I realized there's no parameters around it. But now I'm challenging the norm of my senior leaders that were there for, oh, we've always had this for 15, 20, 30 years, and you just got here, and now you young, fresh, and you think you know what's best. Well, can we try? And then in doing so and in trying it out, and it's like, okay, I see the benefit of it. And then it's like, oh man, you did a good job. You got any more ideas? Now it's opening up a door, right?
Yes.
But it's also not demeaning. Like I didn't come in there like, oh, y'all been doing it this way the whole time. You're doing it wrong. Or you're like, I know what's best. It's just, can we try a different approach? And sometimes that's really where the communication have to come in, where you know how to talk to people. I said some people don't know how to talk to people. You got to know how to talk to people, advocate for yourself and advocate for your ideas, because if not, you'll find yourself feeling resentful, and then the organization may stay stifled, and then it can cause a really hectic work environment.
I hear you. And so many things were important about what you just said, but what sticks with me is you honored the culture by not imposing anything.
Hmm.
You came in and said, "Hey, this is possibly another way to look at it. Let's see what happens."
Right.
And then people aren't threatened and don't have their back all up, even though some of them, well, I won't speak to your organization. In some organizations, people are looking for a moment to hate anyway, so
Mhm. Yeah,
you don't allow that if you have the proper approach. And I
absolutely.
and so I appreciate that. So shifting gears a little bit, talk to you about practical strategies and coaching.
Mhm.
Okay. What are three practical practices leaders can implement immediately to improve cross generational collaboration?
I like that. Okay, so the first thing that they can do is ask questions. Like
Hmm.
I tell people that all the time. Always ask questions. How are you? What are you doing? What can I do to assist? Like you have to ask questions. Sometimes we'll have these moments where you think you know what somebody need, and they really don't need that. Most of the time, people will tell you what they need if you listen. And how do
Yes.
you get them
Yes.
to talk? You ask questions. So one practical thing leaders can do right now to truly bridge any kind of communication gap is ask your team questions. Ask them what they need. What is it that they're enjoying? Say, I like to ask that question too. Like, what do you enjoy about working here? What do you enjoy about our team? If there's something that you can change, what would it be? Because now you're opening up a full communication, and not just ask questions, but ask open-ended questions. So that's number
Mhm.
two. You want to ask open-ended questions. Now you can get people to talk, because you don't want to just get no yes and no and that's it. And now you don't have anything actionable that you can do. And then lastly, just understanding that it's okay to ask for help. And I tell people that all the time. Like, I know I can be headstrong, and it's like, oh, I know it, I got it, I don't need no help. It's me against the world. And people just be having these mindsets. And it's like, no, it's okay to ask for help. So leaders don't feel like you have to have the answer to every question. There's people, there's teams, there's resources that's available for you to succeed in this cross-generational workforce. Asking questions, open-ended questions, and asking for help, and understanding that it's okay. It don't make you weak. It doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't mean that, oh, you're not competent because you ask for help. You're supposed to.
Mhm.
That's how you grow, and that's how you be better. And those are some practical things that you can do today to truly, be successful as a leader.
So we want to ask questions, we want to ask open-ended questions, and we want to be vulnerable enough to say you don't know something. Yeah, ask for help. Ask for help. Thank you so much. So here's another one for you. What mistakes do organizations commonly make when trying to be generationally inclusive, and how can they correct them?
Some mistakes that organizations make trying to be, well, one, at least they trying.
That's a beautiful thing.
At least they trying. So I would say a lot of stuff that I see is just not being willing to change some things, that because it's been that way forever. Like just because something has always been that way doesn't mean that that's the best way. So sometimes what we have to do is take a step back and get input from everybody. Like you could make a decision. If I'm making a decision about a baby boomer, but I don't get the baby boomers input, how is that going to help me? I don't know. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're thinking. So some of the mistakes is using stereotypes to make decisions and not really understanding the different generations that's out there. But you have to be willing to be open minded and get the input of all of the individuals in order for you to truly be inclusive. Because you can't be inclusive, but it's just my brain.
Yeah, telling somebody this is what I've decided is best for you.
Right. Yeah. Like, come on,
Oh,
really?
really?
I don't even need that. I'm fine. I signed you up for a class. I don't need that class. Like, what training you put me in? I don't need that. But I can definitely learn about this. Is this
Mhm.
an option? So that's the thing. Definitely want to get the input of others. Like if you don't, it's hard to make decisions and impact people, and then People wonder, "Oh, it's a hostile work environment." Yeah, because you created it. You created the hostile work environment. So you have to figure out what to do to change it.
I think what's tragic is when it's possibly good information or needed information, but because of the presentation, people reject it. And
Mhm.
that's a double loss. And so we need to once again know how to talk to people. And that word that you used earlier is sticking in my mind, grace. And a lot of people have grace for everybody else, but I'm very glad to hear you say, because I've seen it in a different way, they don't have any grace for themselves.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad that you are blessed to, recognize, hey, I'm a work in progress and
Mhm.
we're going to keep this thing moving. So,
Yep.
okay. So what metrics or KPIs do you recommend for measuring the impact of leadership interventions focused on generational dynamics?
Mm. So, well, everybody like to do their little surveys, right? Everybody when you want
Yeah.
to survey everybody, you want to get everybody input at the end of the year. Well, how was the year? No, ask me this more often. So I feel like sometimes and I do this because I'm like, we need to have quarterly kind of like updates. Like we have 3 months each quarter. So after 3 months, let's come together. Let's see what's working and what's not. What can we change? So the next 3 months, nobody wants to wait until the end of the year to be like, oh dang, this didn't work. Like let's figure it out sooner. So one thing that we can do as leaders is have quarterly touch points. If you want to send out a survey, it's fine. That's how you can gather as much information as possible. But don't just send it out at the end of the year. Because now you can't even make a change and it could be something so minute where the internet is too slow, so it's taking a long time for this to load. My cases is taking me forever. Oh, okay, that's just something simple that we can say we need to have so and so come out and see if we can get higher internet speed. But now you didn't create some that small, something so minute that impact everybody across the organization that's on this internet, and everybody frustrated because it's taking them forever to do a 10-minute job, and now it's taking them an hour to do it because you don't have any kind of communication, your connectivity issues. And it could have been addressed Q2, but you want to wait until Q4 to ask about it. So one thing we need to do is, of course, survey in the beginning and have different touch points and have actual plans to fix it. And that's another thing. Sometimes okay, I'm going to survey everybody, but you don't share the results. No, share the results. What's the plans? What are we going to do to make it better next time? How can we address it in the future so that next quarter we don't have this same issue? Also, one thing that's one of the main things we can do as far as KPIs and performance measures is what's working, survey them, what's working, what's not, how can we address it, and don't wait until the end of the year to do it. Because now you had
Mhm.
365 for foolishness when it could have been addressed, 90 days in.
Have you ever seen this, Dr. Q? Because you just reminded me of something that I saw that I thought was absolutely ridiculous, but it was just the way it was. Because it's policy, someone may turn a survey over to the team to fill out, and then the results get filed and never really utilized.
I've seen that happen so many times, like, or it's not even shared. You want me to take a survey, but you don't wanna share the results with me? Like, everybody should have access to it. You want me to fill out a survey, but you don't know if it's just me that's feeling this way, or is this a thing that's across the organization or across the
Right.
team? Like, you have to, 1, look at the results because sometimes people do them and don't even look at the results. It's just it's done. It's something that's checked off the list. No, it shouldn't be something that's checked off the list. See, the thing is, as leaders, we are not just working in the business, we're working on the business, we're working on the organization, we're working on the team to make sure that we meet certain dynamics and create that culture and make sure that we, be someplace that people want to work with, be the people that people want to work with and work for, and they're excited about it because that's when they show up different, right? Treat people with care. If you're going to ask me my input on something and then you're not even going to share with me what you're going to do about it moving forward, now you're going to start having what people stop filling out them surveys.
They're gonna feel like they're wasting their time. Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't gonna do nothing about it anyway. So people gonna stop filling it out. And then you wonder why your survey scores, oh, I had 80% participation last year, but now this year I only got 15% because you didn't do anything with the 80% participation that you got. So you didn't do anything actionable with the information that you got. You have to utilize the information, analyze it, share it, and come up with strategic plans to make it better in the future. And
Yeah.
then people feel like they heard. Well, you want me to fill out a survey and I don't even know if I'm heard because there's no change. You didn't see anything change from last year to this year, but you're gonna send me another survey at the end of the year.
Okay, Doc, we're going to shift gears just a little bit and talk about remote/hybrid work and emerging trends.
Ooh.
How has remote and hybrid work changed generational dynamics, and what new strategies are necessary now?
So that oh, I like this question because I had to do a presentation on working in the cross generational workforce and understanding the different dynamics where now productivity is not evaluated just by you being in a certain place. Like for today's society, right, I used to work in the office. I would have to go in every day, Monday through Friday, da 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 da. But when COVID happened, now since COVID, it's like, okay, you work from home. Take your laptop with you, got you a monitor, you work from home because everybody's working from home at that point. And we're essential workers, so we still gotta do our job anyway. I mean, like, we can
Mhm.
just close, kind of thing. I wish we could, we can't just close.
It
People need
just
their
shut
medicine. We gotta
down.
take care of
Right,
folks.
right, right.
So, what one thing that we have to realize is sometimes, like, I noticed it would take me maybe an hour, right? So, 45 minutes, I'm gonna say 45 minutes. I ain't gonna say no hour. I ain't gonna extend it that much. But say it takes me 45 minutes to drive to the office. So
Uh-huh.
now that's 45 minutes of time that I didn't wasted to get to the office and then 45 minutes to get back home. So it's an hour and a half out of a day that could have been used towards something that was more productive. Now where I'm actually working on something. So it doesn't decrease my productivity for me to be at home. It actually decreased my productivity for me to have to drive all the way on the other side of town and then drive
Right.
back home because now when I get there, I got to lug everything up the stairs or and set everything up. No, but some people don't like working from home. Some people feel like they prefer that 45-minute drive of solitude because you don't have to worry about certain things, right? So there was a survey that took place and they really, kind of did questions on working from home as opposed to working in an actual location and going in. Well, guess who enjoy working from home more? The younger generations.
Okay.
Guess who wanted to be in people's face and look at them? Our older generation. Like they want to be right there. Like, come on. But also, just because you're working from home, don't mean that you have less meetings. We had more meetings. Fill your calendar up with stuff. Like we ain't had these many meetings when I was in the office. You want to fill my calendar up with all these meetings. So then when I'm supposed to work, so it's understanding the balance of now, like I like the hybrid thing where if you want to go into the office, you can, but a couple days you can work from home, or if it's something that's fully remote, you can work fully remotely, but they have like these different I don't want to call them like pop-up offices, but like where you can go in and kind of
Sure,
have
sure.
space. Yeah, like a hub kind of thing. So there's different ways, but the younger generation prefer to I don't have to be here for my work to get done. I don't and also I can get my work done at home in my pajamas, nice and comfy, and I don't have to take all this time to go in and all of that.
Yeah.
But then people say, okay, well, what about the interactions? What about the work dynamics, the friendships that you create, or the camaraderie? We can have team events.
Mhm.
We still have conversations on our meetings, and we ask questions that will kind of open it up. We do little dad jokes. They be corny. Half of them not funny, but
But they
but we
still
do our
joke.
dad. I know. I'm like, really? Okay. But we still make it where it's everybody's involved and included. And if you notice like people are not engaged, it's like, hey, I'm gonna call on you if I feel like you're not engaged. So, hey, Mark, you all right over there? What you think about this? You have any input? So now you're still keeping everybody engaged and involved. But you got to do what's best for your organization, what's best for your team. And if they can be productive from home, that should definitely be an option if it can be done at home. They need to come in, then if people start slipping on their productivity, you start making them come in.
Dr. Q, I'm gonna tell you something that I noticed when I was in the workforce. It seemed like older generations feel like they need to keep their eye on you.
Yes.
And what's interesting about that is I actually knew people that came in and were running other businesses from their desk and not even productive, but because they were sitting there, it was a perception that they were productive. So it's like, really, come on. You gotta
Mhm.
you gotta be a little smart. Here's somebody right underneath your nose that's doing nothing, and you worry about watching the one that's over there that's getting their work done that's working from home. You know?
Exactly. Right, yeah, and that's the thing, like, just because 'cause you're there doesn't mean that you're more productive. So you have to look at the dynamics across the team. Are you meeting your goals? Are you finishing the job? Are you meeting your deliverables on time? Because sometimes too, like, I realized this is I'm pretty sure you probably heard this before, but it's the outcome. The outcome is the outcome there. Do you have the results? Like you're paying me for a result. Are you
That's
getting
right.
the results? The how much time it take me to do it? Am I doing it? Are you micro? I don't need you to micromanage me. Everybody are adults. We're grown. So if you can't get your job done, that's the problem. It's not necessarily where you are, it's that you can't get your job done. So
Mhm.
you have to make that decision that's best for you. Like I know if I'm sitting I can't work on the couch. Like, I can't
Mhm.
work sitting on the couch because then I'm chilling. But I can work on my dining room table and I have a lot of stuff. So now I spread everything out and I'm
Right.
more productive in that space. But I'm not going to set myself up for failure and say I'm going to work in my bed. That would be my issue. That's something that I can't, that you as an adult have to be able to do.
Yes. So, family, you can reach this intelligent and dynamic woman at www.drq. Q is spelled QUE. I'm not sure they can see that because your jacket is white and also the print is white. There you go. That's better. drqthecoach.com. And if Dr. Q, if they were to go to your website, give me a little taste of what they're going to find and what you can do for folk outside of this and in your coaching business.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to my website, one, you're gonna see a lot of pictures. You're gonna see a lot of pictures
We
of
like
me.
pictures. Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna see some real nice pictures too. But you'll see a lot of photos of me speaking, of me doing interviews, of me emceeing. You'll find some different opportunities to work with me as far as enhancing your leadership skills when it comes to communication, working in a cross generational workforce, and being effective when it comes to leading a team. You'll find that I can come in and I can work with not just you, but your team. We have
yeah,
different programs where we can come in. It'll be myself and a couple other individuals that work with me, but we'll come in and we'll make sure that your team is set up for success by going through 12 different modules of and programs, and we'll walk through how do you have these different kind of conversations. One thing that really sets my training apart from others is that I love to have it be interactive. Like it has to be interactive. I need you to get up. I need you to to act it out with me. Let's talk about it. How do we have difficult conversations? If you have someone that you have to do a correction active action plan with, how do you have that conversation with someone? How do you address it? Because there's so many people that do not know how to talk to people to be effective. Like you can say something one way and people can take it and run with it a total different way than what you intended. And I can say the exact same thing, but because the way that I communicated it with you, it'll have a different impact. So making sure that everyone's really just set up for success when it comes to being in this dynamic world that we are in today, and smiles. Y'all gonna see a lot of smiles.
lots of smiles. I can attest to that. Dr. Q is a smiler and
Mm.
it's not a phony smile. She is just a happy and contagiously so person and just love to be around you. A
Yeah,
ball of energy, and not only a ball of energy, but effective at what she does. So if what you're hearing is resonating with you, be sure to contact her.
and they can follow me on my social medias too. It's at Dr. Q the Coach on all social media platforms. And when you go on there, you're gonna see me speaking, of course, and you also probably gonna see me dancing because I'm always somewhere dancing, having a good time. So you probably see me line dancing, popping a fan, or just having a good time and enjoying life. Life is too short for you not to enjoy it. So enjoy the
Doc-
journey.
Dr. Q, are you a part of a sorority?
I am. I'm a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Yeah. Okay.
We are pretty in our pearls. I got my necklace with my children on it today, so I don't have pearls on, but I got my earrings on. But yes, I'm a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm a part of a couple different organizations. Kappa Psi, which is a pharmaceutical fraternity, Phi Beta Lambda business fraternity. That's really what. So funny story, real quick. So when I was I used to wear like everything on my face all the time. Whatever thought I had in my mind,
Mhm.
you'll see it on my face, especially when I first went to college, because I moved down to South Carolina when I was 17. And when I first went to college, like whatever I'm thinking, it's just like
It's gonna be
everything was, oh my goodness. If I had an attitude, you knew, because the eyebrow will come up and so, or the lips get tight, I wore everything on my face. So when I joined my wonderful business fraternity, that's really when I got a lot of business acumen and learned how to navigate these different spaces. And we had to come up with like this thing. It was like, you always wear everything you think on your face. You cannot do that in the professional world. Like, you cannot be in meetings and looking at people all sideways up their head. So we need to do an attitude check. So
Uh-huh.
we came up with this thing, and it was like a chant that they would be like, you need to do an attitude check. Okay. So I would get myself together, attitudes, and I would say it, and then it'd be like, face on, face off, attitude check, like check yourself. So that's really one thing that I use to help me navigate different spaces and realize I didn't know my facial expressions was that bad. I did not know that. And because I started doing the attitude check, it's just like, all right, life can be burning down around me. And I'm gonna be like,
Well,
we gonna figure this out.
that's another tip for myself and our listeners. Be careful of what you're projecting because and what I found, Dr. Q, you can send messages and it might not even be about the people you're around. It could be from something you experienced 20 minutes ago, and it comes to
Mhm.
your mind. And you like, and they wondering what's wrong with Mark. Well, I'm thinking about something, and then you built a wall unnecessarily. So that's a great point. We got to do an attitude check. Let me try it real quick. Let me practice. What's it called again? Attitude check.
Attitude check. Yeah, attitude check.
Is it
I
face
be
on?
seeing them. Attitude check. Face on.
All right, Doc. Well, we got you. We got you. That's important.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Q.
Uh-huh.
What emerging trends, technology, policy, workforce composition will most affect generational leadership in the next 5 years? Okay.
That's it. It's AI because you have some people that look at AI as like, oh, this is going to take my job away, right? No, the goal is not to take your job away, is to really make us be more efficient. Our younger generation, when it comes to AI, you got to make sure that you're learning it, you're picking up on. Our older generation. Don't shy away from it. It's not something that's looking to replace you. Nobody's trying to replace you. You're a human. You can train AI to do all kind of stuff, but it doesn't have emotions. It can't make certain decisions for you. So it's not going to take away the human touch, but you have to embrace it. All generations, you have to embrace it because it's not stopping. It's something that's coming, and it's going to truly impact all areas in the world, like even in the medical field. With what it is that I do now, how they're starting to integrate AI into it, it's like, man, and it helps you be so much more efficient. Do you know how long clinical trials are?
How long?
A clinical trial document can be 2, 3, 400 pages. To read through 400 pages take a very long time. Trust me, I know I had to do.
I understand.
But you can use that same AI systems, put it in there and say, give me the what it is that you're actually looking for. Like, what is the inclusion criteria? What is the exclusion criteria? What were the actual results? Were they statistically significant? Because you be looking at some stuff, and it really didn't make no difference. Pill A did the same thing as pill B. It wasn't statistically significant or clinically significant. So being able to utilize AI saved me a whole week from reading 400 pages in a clinical trial. So you embrace it and utilize it for what's best for you because it's not going to stop coming. The train is here. It's already here, and it's not going to stop.
So what we're talking about, Dr. Q, is having a paradigm shift and looking at AI as a friendly intrusion, because it is an intrusion,
Yes.
as opposed to something that's coming to harm me. And I think that's tougher for the older generation because I look at my daughters. My daughters were born with computers in their hands. I was not. I'm up there. The Commodore 64 was the first computer I saw. You probably never heard of that. That was one they
Mhm.
pulled out, and they said, "Hey, we got computers."
Well,
But yeah, that was a long time ago. It's a dinosaur. It is so important that people shift that paradigm and understand that, yeah, this is it's a lot of doom and gloomers out here, but take the time to learn these new technologies, AI and whatever else they come up with, because it's
mhm.
proliferating. It's so fast. It's happening so fast. You got to just stick your toe in there, and even if you don't learn everything, learn something, right?
Yes. Yep. A little at a time. And that's what I tell people. Like, you don't have to eat it all at one time, but just little micro educate yourself, like micro doses of education. What
Mhm.
is something that you can learn today that will help you be better in 5 years from now? And if it doesn't have anything to do with technology, you're gonna find yourself stuck and frustrated or resentful. So I always tell people, the train is not gonna stop. Being a millennial, I think we are the first generation that probably seen how technology just changed over time right before our eyes. Like my mom used to have one of those Nextel chirp phones and two ways, and we had AOL dial-up. You had to plug it up and then, make all
That's
the little
right.
weird sounds and stuff, and you couldn't be on the phone and on the internet at the same time. You
Like,
had to
"Oh, they're gonna bump you." Yeah.
yeah, like, right. So it went from like we've seen that all the way to now where I can answer a phone on my watch. Like if
Yes.
somebody call me, I can talk to you on my watch. I can send a text from my watch. You don't have to have a full keyboard. You got, and
No.
then at one point you had the 9 numbers and it was ABCD, you had to tap, 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 tap. But now you got a full keyboard at the touch of your hand, or you can talk to it and it can text what it is that you're saying. So we've
It's
seen technology just
amazing. Yeah.
manifest in front of us, like, and it's not gonna stop. So we have to embrace it and
Embrace
look at it
yeah,
as a opportunity for growth and learn about it so you don't wanna be stuck,
that
still
you
trying
don't
to
wanna
use
be
that
stopped.
dial-up. Pecking.
Dr. Q, for leaders listening who want to start making change today,
Mhm.
what three-step action plan would you recommend to begin bridging generational divides?
Alright, so on kind of like survey your team, right? Who's on your team? Sometimes we talk about all these different generations, right? But do you know who is in what generation on your team? Do you
Right.
know? Like if not, then you really can't figure out how to communicate or what appeals to them in that manner anyway. So I would
Mm.
say one, survey your team. A lot of times we gotta take a step back and see, okay, what is the goal? How are we going to get there? What can I do to assist? How can I put my people in the best possible position to do it? So once I survey my team and I know, okay, boom, I might need to have a conversation with you so I can see what motivates you, what will help you, how can I assist you. I always ask questions. I love asking questions. And y'all see, it's funny to be on this side of an interview because I'm always on the other side. Like I'm always the one that's asking all of the questions. So now I'm like, oh, I got a lot of questions to answer. This is great. You did a lot of research for me today. But it's pretty cool. So I always say, ask those questions, be open-minded, because sometimes that just means that you also are going to have to change your approach. So you have to be willing to be flexible as well. If I'm asking Mark a question, but I don't know how to do it myself, or if I'm asking you what can I do to assist you, or what do you need, and I'm not willing to change my approach to better assist you, then that's an issue for me. So we as leaders have to change our mindset, be open-minded to shift how we communicate and ask questions so that we can be that leader for our team.
Dr. Q, what have you most enjoyed about the time we spent together today?
I most enjoyed the research you did to ask me all these awesome questions because I was like, okay, I think we about to just chill out. We got to have us some fun, but this was good. I love thought provoking conversations. I love the platform. Hey, look, mind the business that pays you, and that is very true. I love that because I tell people that all the time. If somebody's asked me something, look, I don't get me lying. I don't know, and I ain't gonna make nothing up either. So if somebody told you Dr. Q said something, and I ain't say that. Don't get me lying. So just minding your own, like they ain't got nothing to do with me. So
There
this
you
has
go.
been awesome, Mark. Like I've truly enjoyed my time here with you, and I know this is going to be an awesome interview, and I can't wait to share it with the world and put it out there for
I
everybody.
appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Listen, family from the Mind the Business that pays you. Listen, Dr. Q, DOUE, thecoach.com. She's been a phenomenal guest, but guess what? If you bring her into your organization, she'll be even in a more amazing asset to your people. I want to thank you for being here today. Thank you so much, Dr. Q. Dr.
Thank
Q,
you.
don't go away yet. We're gonna leave our folk. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here. You can reach me at www.drmarkholland.com. Share this with somebody, and we will see you again real soon.